We're back. Alright, y'all, this is week 1 of season 2 of Draft League. It's going to be the Arizona Birds of Prey, myself against Flaafy's FreeHugz. They brought pretty much everything I figured they were going to, and a lot of things I didn't really want to see. For example, Slaking. I believe Oko's my entire team if it Terras, so that's something that we're going to have to try and play around, but we'll see how this goes. I'm going to lead off with Flygon, just because Tallulah has a choice scarf. We can hopefully outspeed anything on his team that is not also scarfed, and we'll go from there. My loose kind of game plan here is to try and get Hawlucha in, because I believe outside of Weezing and Golden Go, those are the two things that we kind of need to address ahead of bringing Hawlucha in. But if we chip those down or get them out of the way, Hawlucha kind of has a good time. So let's see how this goes. Pink Lemonade is Mesprit. Probably should have let off with Tornadus because I have Taunt for this, but we can easily just go for a Scarfed U-turn here. If they set up rocks, that kind of stinks because we don't have any hazard control in the team I'm rocking here, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, they're going to switch out. That's very beneficial for us. They did not decide to set up Stealth Rocks. Alright, and they go into Slaking. So that's kind of awesome for us, because if Slaking got a free switch into anything, it's just going to pummel me. So I EV'd, I should have EV'd my Hawlucha to outspeed this even without the Unburden. So I'm gonna just go straight into that and try and hit this thing with close combat. If he goes to Golden Go, that's fine. We can kind of pivot around that, but I'm not gonna mess around with Slaking because it is an absolute beast. So we should outspeed this. Hawlucha looks so cool with the flying animation. I dig that. Not sure how he's just in permaflight, but okay, so they do switch out. They're probably going to go Golden Go. Jaws. Who is Jaws? Okay, Jaws is Garchomp, so it's not going to appreciate a close combat. Get the rough skin damage and the Rocky Helmet chip, so that's unfortunate and maybe could hurt Hawlucha down the line. But let's go into Screamtail, because this is kind of like my designated thing to eat a hit. The one thing that would be unfortunate is if he's running like Poison Jab on this thing. Alright, so they're also going to switch into Weezing. Okay. That's actually not bad for us. We can go for Expanding Force. It's not going to be boosted because we don't have the terrain up from Indeedee, but again, I'm just going to go and try and hit what's in front of us. Expanding Force hits, does a little bit over half. They go Sludge Bomb, that's going to hurt, but it doesn't do even half. We do not get poisoned, and then we get our leftovers back. So we're sitting in a good spot here. We've weakened Weezing considerably. I don't have a reason to go for a different move here, so we're just going to Expanding Force. If he stays in, that should take this thing out. If he switches, we'll adapt. So he is going to switch. I also didn't bring hazards on this team just because it didn't make a ton of sense with the other move slots I kind of needed. So go to Mesprit, that's going to do obviously like no type of damage. So I think here we can probably go, unless he's rocking like Ice Beam, we can probably pretty safely go into Flygon maybe? Let's try that. Because even though it resists that Expanding Force and Screamtail doesn't hit super hard, that's doing no type of damage, so... Okay, so they're going to set up a Light Screen. That's unfortunate for us. Shout out to Sean and Vaughn for helping me test ahead of this battle. Sean in particular did screens on Mesprit as well, and it just was not a good time for me, so that's not great, but you can hit this hard with a U-turn that gets it below half. They're probably going to set up Reflect now. So what I can do is I'm going to go Indeedee here, and then I can maybe set up screens of my own to kind of combat theirs, just so we're on the same playing field here. Okay, and they go for Psychic. That's hopefully not going to do much, and it doesn't. So here, let's just set up a Light Screen first. Okay, they Thunder Wave me. That's annoying, but not like too big of a deal. Good to know that it has that too. So it has Thunder Wave, Light Screen. I don't know if it's showed other moves yet. Let's just also get a Reflect up. Okay, they Encore as well, so that was another thing I probably should have been thinking, but Light Screen's not going to do anything. And now they can kind of freely do whatever they want, but they won't be able to Thunder Wave Flygon, so I'm just going to go into that. They might switch, anticipating me to switch, and they do. So what are they going to go into here? Yeah, Slaking. So this is going to stink. Fortunately, though, I can outspeed Slaking with my Scarf unless they're Scarfed. The thing is, do I want to Terra here and just go for Earthquake? I don't know if that's the right move. You know, let me maybe calc that real quick. So let me just see what Earthquake does. Yeah, so even with the Ground Terra, it's not going to do that much. I might actually switch back to Indeedee here, because it's paralyzed, and this thing is going to just like ruin anything on my team. And I want to save Flygon because it's Scarfed, it gives me speed control. Yeah, so Double Edge is going to hurt a lot, but now we can pretty safely go into Hawlucha. The problem is they still have Golden Go, so I don't know if that's maybe a misplay. But the other thing we can do is we can go into Tornadus and maybe set up a Nasty Plot and just kind of go in on his team. Let's do that. Because this is going to be the Truant turn. We outspeed this, so I can just Nasty Plot up here while Slaking has to just kind of sit and do nothing. I don't think you're allowed to switch on the Truant turn, but I could be wrong. I guess it doesn't really matter either way because we get a free nasty plot. But yeah, Slaking is just a big problem for my team. I'm surprised that he's running Double Edge and not Giga Impact, since I guess maybe Giga Impact locks you and prevents you from staying in, so not entirely sure, but brings in Garchomp, which makes me think that this thing might be Scarfed, which is scary. Light screen wears off, that doesn't matter. I'm just going to go for the Bleak Windstorm, hope that it hits, and we can gather information on whether or not Garchomp is Scarfed, and it is not, but we miss. Oh, that stinks. That was why we ran that over Hurricane. They go for Dragon Claw, that does over half. Shouldn't waste the nasty plot here. I'm just going to click buttons, go for the Bleak Windstorm again. That is very unfortunate. The other thing we have to be wary of is our terrain might not stay up long enough for Hawlucha to set it unless we go into it shortly here, but if we knock out Garchomp, I'll take that, so we'll see. Okay, so this one hits, that's definitely going to take it out from that range. So, Torn KOs Chomp with Weak Wind. Alright, one down. And now they go Golden Go on a balloon. If this thing is Scarfed, so be it, but we have Heat Wave for it. I like the nickname, by the way. And we do outspeed. That's going to KO Golden Go from full. Love to see that. Torn KOs Gold with Heat Wave. So, potentially troubling for the late game in that do we want to miss here? I kind of don't. So let's just go for Heat Wave, even though it's not as strong. And they're going to Sucker Punch. Okay, so they Sucker Punch there. Unfortunately, our terrain has run out, so that kind of neuters what Hawlucha is able to do, but we can bring it in, and now we can kind of... So I might actually just Swords Dance up here. We kind of screwed ourselves by not getting this in with the terrain, but Tornadus did a great job taking out two of the biggest threats outside of Slaking on their team, so we shall see. Alright, we Swords Dance up. So the problem is we still have our Psychic Seed, and we can't get rid of that now, so Acrobatics is not going to hit that hard, but I kind of want to see how much it'll do. And we just take it out anyway. Alright, Hawlucha. Flex a little. Flex a little. Love that. I did not anticipate Acrobatics without being doubled in power KOing Tauros, but there you have it. Lucha KOs Tauros with Acro. Well, I mean, it didn't go perfectly according to plan, but Hawlucha, even without the item proc and the Unburden boost, is doing a pretty solid job here. Again, like, Hawlucha doesn't have much of a purpose now, so let's just go for an attack. Sludge Bomb doesn't even kill me. I can go for another Acro. That'll take out Wheezing. Lucha KOs Wheezing with Acro. And now they go Slaking. So we can see whether this thing is Scarfed, which it might be. Ah, they have the Sucker Punch. I have, of course, forgotten that. Should have just went for Sword Stance. That was a misplay on my part. Ooh, this kind of gets a little scary now, potentially. I might have thrown there, to be honest. That was not good. Ooh boy, okay. Shoot, that was really not a good play on our part. We needed to set up again there to avoid the Sucker Punch. I was not thinking. So, I think now we just kind of fire off a Dragon Claw, because it hits this and it hits Mesprit. We'll see if it does enough to Mesprit. It's below half health. Dragon Claw will take it out. Okay, so there's that at least. Flygon KOs Mesprit with Dragon Claw. And from here, I don't think a Sucker Punch is going to be enough to take me out. So let's Terra and Earth. Oh, we can't, because we're locked in. Screw it. Let's go for Dragon Claw. Okay, they're gonna burn their Terra here. We're gonna see what that's gonna turn into. The fortunate thing is they can't do anything after this, and it is Terra Normal. So Terra Normal anything is gonna hurt, but unless they're Scarf, they're not gonna outspeed. And they don't. Dragon Claw does very little. Double Edge will kill us from full, as I said. That's brutal. But does plenty of recoil to the point that we can swap in Magneton. So I think we locked up the W here. It was a lot closer than I probably should have let it get to. I guess we can flex and Terra Blast here. Yeah, that was a huge misplay on my part with Hawlucha to not just Sword Stance again, anticipating the Sucker Punch. But again, I didn't know if it was like Scarfed. Loafing around, that is the drawback of Slaking. And with that, fire off our Fire Terra Blast. Magneton KOs Slaking with Terra Blast. Alright, well, we will get out of week 1 with a W. Only a 2-0 though, so that might hurt us come season's end when we're looking at playoff seeding, because that'll be the tiebreaker after wins and losses. But you know, we'll take the win. I mean, a couple of misplays here and there. Our plan didn't really come to fruition, but Tornadus kind of carried. So GG to Hugs. Thank you again to the lads for helping me test. It definitely led us in the right direction.